and no new vessels arriving from international waters might be allowed to come in. Still, vessels with cruising permit valid and that have been the passengers for more than 2 weeks in Panama will be allowed to come in. To the cruisers and friends at the anchorage, I know this is stressful. I'm just doing what the government is telling us to do. I'll be doing a run as soon as the net is over to head out and just give you some additional information face to face. We're trying to assist you any way we can, but just bear with us. It's a complicated situation, changing constantly every day.
It's hard to imagine this was just 1 month ago as we wandered around one of my favorite places in Panama. Now, given today's circumstance, it seems like just a distant memory and maybe one of the last times we actually got to roam around of our own free will. A lot has changed in our world just since we filmed this with the onset of a mysterious virus that has caused worldwide panic and meltdown. And even right here in our backyard, which is virtually untouched by this virus, our world has come to a screaming halt. Yes, I have decided to interrupt our normal series just like this virus has interrupted everybody's lives. Too many of you have been asking, how are we? Where are we? How is it affecting us? Wish we were there, but truth is, we're prisoners just like the rest of you. So we'll let this video serve as my answer, and then we'll get back to our normal series afterwards. Well, today marks the very interesting start of a new chapter in the log of sailing vessel Sophisticated Lady. Today marks the first day that life has been changed in our backyard by the intruding coronavirus. Didn't think it would happen that fast, but I think the media has really taken this thing and spun it to epically crazy proportions, and now all countries are reacting. And yes, I understand that there are drastic measures required in certain places like Italy, of course, but here we are in Central America where it has barely even touched the surface. And of course they've always had outbreaks of influenza and everything here because they have lots of people coming down from cold countries that visit and are tourists to the area, and they bring with them whatever viruses they come along with off the airplanes. But of course this one is different because it has killed some people, and in Italy that is a lot of people, unfortunately. And as you know, of course, Madalena is from Italy, so we're in contact with them virtually every day, hearing updates about what's been happening and what life is like there, because they're under full and complete lockdown. Nobody's allowed to leave their house, walk the streets, nothing. They just have to stay where they are and deal with it. And they're under long-term quarantine for the unforeseeable future until something happens there and it starts to die down. So of course here we are in Central America, and we've just finished up in San Andres. We got our shipment here last week, so everything we needed was done. We were planning on doing some provisioning because things are less expensive in Colombia because the peso has always been very favorable, the exchange rate to the US dollar. So we can buy things here relatively cheap compared to, especially even in Panama, things are much more expensive because everything's traded in US dollars there. But now Panama today just declared that they are closing all borders. All of their customs immigration officials are going offline. There is nobody being admitted in or out of the country for the foreseeable future until further notice. So we were planning on going there. We need to get down there and continue on our way. We're going through Panama Canal very shortly. We're supposed to be picking up the new dinghy at Shelter Bay Marina. It's already arrived there, so we've got some things going on we were planning on looking after, but of course all of that is on hold right now because they've locked the country down, so we have no place to go. We've been told that if we do show up there, they immediately quarantine you to your vessel for 14 days in an isolated anchorage. So if you go there, you're stuck, you can't move, you can't do anything. So I don't think we really want to engage in that. Right now we are here in San Andres, and San Andres is by far one of our favorite places. That's why we're here. It's a lovely island, it's beautiful, the people are awesome. You know, I love Colombia, it's one of my favorite destinations, as you guys probably remember, and we just like it here. So it's not really punishment to have to stay here. It's just that we have other things we should and want to be doing, but we can't do it now because the virus it's had an effect on our day. And ultimately that effect could be for a few days, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be who knows. Who knows? We just have to start preparing for the ultimate worst. And that's what we started doing today. So today we hit the ground running and decided it was time to go do some shopping and provisioning and just start stocking up the boat. We planned to do that anyway, but now we're taking it to a new level. And the one thing we do have in our favor is because of all this going on and the government's playing with the economies now over this virus intrusion and governments shutting down borders everywhere, the Colombian peso has taken a hit, a fairly large hit. It's down about 25 to 30% from where it was last week. So as a reference, of course, my reference is always like a case of beer. A case of beer that we bought here last week for $13 US, we can now buy this week for $9.50. So that's a considerable difference. And that has got us thinking that, yeah, we're going to immediately start utilizing that to our advantage as much as possible and collecting stores for the boat. So we're going to need to be able to look after ourselves. Nobody's going to look after us down here. We're on our own. There's no other boats in the anchorage at the present time, so it's just Maddie and I and Tiki sitting here on Sophisticated Lady. It's a beautiful town. Like I say, there's very, very worse places that we could be. We have unlimited sunshine here. We have beautiful breeze blowing all day, every day. So we've got unlimited solar power. We've got a brand new lithium bank of reserve power. We got the wind generator charging the batteries, you know, even at nighttime. And the water under the boat is perfectly crystal clear. This anchorage is absolutely beautiful. That's why we love it here. It's sparkling clear seawater. It's got 2 knots of current that flows through here all day, every day, and keeps the water perfectly clear. So we can now make as much water as we want off our new solar power desalinator, which is the Schenker water maker that we just installed a little while ago, you guys remember, and it's been working amazing. But now we have everything we need right here. You can't really complain. If there was some place to be locked down, this is a pretty good place and a pretty good circumstance to be in. So can't really complain about that, but you know, nobody likes to be held prisoner, but I'm not a prisoner of Colombia, but let's just say we're forcibly extended guests. So we don't really have any place that we can go without being just put into quarantine and having to remain on the boat for 2 weeks while everybody deals with their stuff on land. So that's today's story. And yeah, we did do a startup on topping up our provisions. So we're starting out with canned goods, dried goods, canned vegetables, rice, peas, beans, all that kind of stuff that we can put below the floors, because we just finished outfitting the subfloor underneath the bilge there with all new plastic containers and everything, big storage bins, because we're getting ready for the Pacific. So obviously we need to have long-term storage. So the timing is not bad for us. All our storage is in and clean and ready to go. So we started buying stuff today. And to put it into perspective, we bought a ton of stuff. A lot of cans, boxed milk, dried goods, everything like I said. And what would have cost us, I mean, it was 632,000 pesos is what the bill was today. And that was our first, just our first provisioning run. We're going to do more again tomorrow and more next week. We'll just keep accumulating little bits as this goes on until we see where things go. But to put that into perspective, that 632,000 pesos last week would have cost just under $200 US, and today it cost 156 US. So even including a case of beer and 4 bottles of wine, I mean, we spent 156 US today and got a major load of provisions. And we're going to do the same tomorrow and probably on Monday and Tuesday, and just keep filling the boat up, fill the stores up, because our dollar is strong here. We can get a lot of stuff for it, and nobody's panicking here. Nobody's hoarding rations or provisions or anything, you know. The stores are all normal, the streets are normal. There's 0 cases of the virus here. I think there's 9 on mainland Colombia at the moment, but as we speak, there's nothing here in San Andres. So I say, we're in a pretty good position, and that's just an update from today as we start this new journey into whatever. We don't know where this is going to go, but today's the start. Some of you might remember my good friend Thomas on sailing vessel Be Free. He's actually in Panama, where we're supposed to be right now, and of course we're supposed to be getting ready to transit the canal together and head off into the Pacific. Obviously situations have changed, so we're going to pick up an update from Thomas at our front line, and then stick around, because after that we're going to zoom over to Italy for an update from our beloved Valentina, right from the center of where the major activity is with the coronavirus.
That's how I feel. I feel that my community is more important right now than my personal needs.
We are really not sure what to do. We were expecting to cross the canal today, but it was cancelled. We are rescheduled for Monday. But everything here is like hour by hour, and we pay close attention to all the information we got on the VHF. So the management here in Shelter Bay Marina keeps us updated very well, I would say.
Operations at the facilities. Public transportation has stopped working in certain way. Most of my yard employees were not able to get on the bus, so we are limited on the yard and on the maintenance crew. What does that mean? All boats that are in the heart, that have people on board, I need to splash you guys today. I don't know if I'll be able to have the full staff to do a proper splash down with the required personnel tomorrow. So I'll be stopping by the boats as soon as the net is over, and I'll get back to you, and we're going to schedule the splashing. Haul-outs. No haul-outs will be done until we get all these people in the water. Whoever is in the water and can't wait for the haul-out to happen, eventually we're going to get to you.
The latest news is that we might have problems with the advisors, we may have problem with line handlers. Really don't know what to do. We have stocked up a lot, so we have food and beverage on board for the next 8 months. But still we don't know where we can go, we don't know which island that will accept us to come in. We really don't know if we even will be able to transit the canal. So, but luckily we are in a good marina, we have everything we need. So at the moment it's a luxury problem, even though it kind of stops our dreams and our ideas of cruising the Pacific, but that's just what we have to deal with. So just take everything day by day, hour by hour, and hope that everyone out there is safe and sound, and this will go over by itself. And what can we say? We'll just try to stay in here, stay positive.
Well, day six, and today we awake with a bit of another challenge to face. We woke up after a bit of a windstorm last night, and we've got this in front of us, which is not looking good. The guys just arrived finally, but yeah, this boat dragged down on us in the middle of the night and has been there for most of the day. We had the Coast Guard stop by a little while ago as we flagged them down. And yeah, I guess they went into the marina and let the marina know that the boat was dragging. So somebody's on board now to come and move the boat, so that's cool. So while we let those guys deal with that, we've got another little task on our chore list today, and that's to hang our new flag. We just had this one made because the old one is kind of destroyed, and since Colombia is our new home for the immediate time being, you could say we had a flag of pride made. So we actually really like Colombia. It is one of my favorite countries by far, so we had a massive Colombian flag made. So we're gonna hang that up today as our courtesy flag. Yeah, none of this little courtesy shit from Captain Rick. Go big or go home, man. Oops, sorry, it's upside down. All right, let's go hang this sucker up. Viva la Colombia. We have engine going, that's good. They finally got somebody on board that knows the boat. So that's a good start. So now it should hopefully get out of our way, and hopefully they don't anchor it right up front and upwind of us again, because now that it has dragged, it's gonna have to reset its anchor, and putting it right in front of us would not make us very comfortable at night, that's for sure.
Today the news by the mainland, by Colombia, is the case going up. Is now it's 100, around 100, 100 half.
150 in Colombia.
Yeah. And yes, we are like in a little bowl here. We are very safe, very lucky.
And how's things back in your homeland in Italy? How's your family doing?
My family are close in a house. They live in a very red zone, and we have 1,000 of cases of death, 1,000 of contagion every day. They now is almost 3 weeks close in a house, and have somebody, they bring the food for day and buy a food and deliver it house by house. A lot of my friends help in the hospital, and today the last news, and we don't have more the normal car for bring the dead body and give they normal sepultura, is a normal ceremony, but arrive directly the military truck for bring all the body because they are too much now. Yeah.
So they have too many bodies to deal with. There's no ceremonies, no funerals. The military just shows up and takes them away in trucks.
Yeah, because the funeral are stopped. All the ceremony by the church are stopped. They can do it more. They are in quarantine like everybody.
Yeah, they don't have the facilities for that many people, and everybody that is available is under quarantine as well, so
yeah,
nobody can move.
Yeah, sure. I hope Israeli or China people find very fast vaccines for everybody. Sure. I don't know if you arrived before, but sure they win the champion. Yeah.
Until then, we're just winding down today, enjoying another sunset. We had a full day of sun again today. batteries full, water tanks full, water makers running now. We had extra power. We made all kinds of ice, water, and ended up, at 3 o'clock and 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, still batteries were full and sun coming in, so powered up the laundry machine and decided to do a load of laundry, so even getting some clothes washed. But this is our view around the bay today, and it's just nice to be here. Actually, I must admit, we are lucky to be here. There's a lot worse places we could be. I get a lot of messages from lots of you guys, and thanks for all your input and your messages, feedback, everything. But I do get a lot of messages from you guys, and just saying that you wish you were on a sailboat somewhere. And well, I wish I could say it was what we're used to. We are kind of stuck like you guys at the moment. Luckily, we're stuck in a good place, and yeah, we're stuck in a place where it is comfortable, it's convenient, everything we need is still right here and fully operational. Our dollar is good, the sun is good, everything is good. And to date, we are still at one of the only islands that is rated with 0 cases. So we're still shut down and we're not allowed to move. We can't even go to mainland Colombia, even if we want to go by sail, because the boats are not being admitted over there. There's no traffic allowed in or out of the marinas. So everybody is under full lockdown. Welcome to the free world.
As probably most of you know, we are currently on lockdown. That means that since now a week and a half, about 10 days, we've been pretty much staying home the whole time. It's a nationwide lockdown, meaning everywhere in the country people are supposed to stay home. So it's just for a very necessary needs that we actually go out. And this has happened because the number of cases of coronavirus, of COVID-19, had been growing so fast in the past few weeks that this was the only measure that could actually slow down the spread of the virus, that could potentially, stop it. I mean, for me to be home, to stay home for a few weeks is really a very minor effort. When you think that there's people on the line, really, like nurses and doctors who are currently fighting this fight, and they're, they can be the first ones to get sick, as they're in constant contact with sick individuals, with patients from COVID-19. Whether you're young, healthy, you can be any age, really, in any condition, you should stay home. That's how I feel. I feel that my community is more important right now than my personal needs. So it's a bit of a change, compared to where it was just a year ago on SSL. I believe at this time we're probably in Colombia on Providencia, and we were having a ball. We were having an amazing time, and I definitely missed that. I wish I could be somewhere, like that, somewhere beautiful, enjoying all sorts of freedom. But it is what it is, and right now I think communities around the world, entire countries who are being placed on lockdown, are doing that for the right reasons, because we need to control this. We need to go back to our lives as quickly as possible. We want that. We look forward to that. But in order to achieve that, I think we're all asked to make an effort and and have a bit of a lifestyle change, and stay home. And I don't think that's extremely difficult to do. So this is happening, in Italy, but it's happening in many different countries around the world. I believe the entire globe is sort of going into a lockdown right now, and that's not how I expected 2020 to unfold, to be honest. It is really, really, really strange. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I think, is this really happening? Is this what's, the new normal? Like I really have a hard time understanding and acknowledging all of this sometimes. But then, I check the news, I realize, yeah, this isn't my new reality right now. But most importantly, I hear from people, from acquaintances, what they're going through, because so many communities are being really badly hit. My region is not so heavily touched right now, meaning it's a very small mountain region in Italy. And there are cases, yes, but we're kind of isolated. We don't feel that there's a huge difference in our lives compared to just a few weeks ago. Entire communities in northern Italy, and not just northern Italy, are being heavily hit. I was saying, as the death toll there is really, really high. Of course, many of these people, the overwhelming majority, yes, are old people. Yes, they were already affected by some other, sickness, meaning they were already in the hospital sometimes. So if they were home, they had poor health. Okay, so that's the majority of people who actually eventually die. That being said, it's statistics are what they are. They're numbers. But these people, would have survived another year or 2 or 5. We don't know. They are grandparents to someone. They're not just figures, So for me, it's pretty important that we young people and the rest of the community, everybody, feels concerned directly, as we can be vectors of the virus. We can spread it. We don't get sick, we don't even show symptoms. We can be perfectly all right. We know we may be positive. I may be positive right now. I haven't been tested. Most people haven't been tested. And yet, we feel perfectly well, but we don't know. We may be carrying it. So we must behave as we were sick in many ways, as we already knew we had the virus. And if occasionally we get bored, that's not the worst thing that may happen. Kids are supposed to get bored too. That fosters creativity. And sometimes you just want to relax and do nothing. Sometimes you want to meditate. Sometimes you want to let your thoughts run free instead of always be up to something, So it's good to enjoy some tranquility. And I do hope very much that this period of time in the entire world will bring a new breath, a new, sense of purpose for humanity, why we are here, what we are doing to ourselves and to our planet, our home, As nature is taking this moment to sort of heal somehow, perhaps this whole crisis will serve as a turning point. I very, very much hope that, because we need that. The planet is really under stress and has been like that for several years if we don't take care of our home. I don't know what's going to happen really. The scenarios in place are not particularly bright. So I believe this can be a time to focus on ourselves, on what we want, and on the world around us, on our community. This can be a time where we really grow and realize that some things in life are not as necessary as we believe they were.
That's it for this update, everyone. Thanks for watching, but certainly a lot has changed since the making of this video, so if you want to know more, just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we'll return to normal episodes next weekend. I hope this finds you all well and someplace safe. Take care out there, and we'll see you next time. Welcome to our new world, people. Our lives are not our own.